kind of what I'm seeing is just a different mapping system. It's like we're mapping into a higher version of our reality, right? And this allows us to tune into more knowledge. It allows us to remember and access a different matrix, a different domain, a different extension of us. For as we come back into coherence, which is the rose, it allows us to elongate our frequency patterns. And as we elongate our trajectory, as we elongate that which it is that we see more. I'm seeing a longer focalization, a focal point. And a lot of this, again, is a plan word. So as we tune into this higher tree, if you will, this winding staircase, as we move into this deeper sense of expansion, we renew with, or we find new information. We remember new information about our reality. For we are plugging into the future, are we not? We are set within. When I say not, it's KNOT. I'm seeing a slip knot. I'm seeing a toroidal field. I'm seeing a donut. We play with this at a different scale, if you will, and we change the harmonic resonance in which we are tuning into information. Therefore, the information that we are tuning into also holds a different adaptability point. It holds a different resonance. It allows us to adapt our new geometric configurations with the new geometries that are tuning into us. For as we tune into reality and we play the keys that allow us to activate and see more, I'm seeing key as a big play on words, like key sets, musical notes. I'm seeing like the Goonies when they play the piano and it opens up like a wall. And I'm also seeing key, like K-I, and I'm seeing chi. This allows us to reconfigure and renew our relationship in this way. Therefore, we remember these different aspects in which we have the ability to play, and we wish to accentuate, if you will, the word play. For as we recognize that we must be playful in our discoveries, it allows us to discover more. For the playfulness is the advancement of the elongation of the expansion of our trajectory. It puts us on a different place on the map. This allows us to activate and perform at a higher frequency note. This allows us to tap into a higher performance that we are all resonating at in this symphonic way, in this symphonetic play on words. We allow ourselves to then cast our net much farther then, increasing our own self-worth, our own value system, which then increases the numbers in proportionate, those numbers in proportion to the new reality that we are configuring ourselves into. For we begin to figure out, I'm seeing the figure 8 turning into a circle, and then moving back into an 8 and then a circle. We are then able to figure out that which is innate within us, but play on words. We are then able to activate a different conjecture. We are then able to, I'm seeing a conjecture, play on words, and we let go of, I'm seeing an alphabet that was strung together. And then what happens is we create a new string of letters, a new string of words, a new string of codes, of geometries. And I'm seeing it creates more letters, and it creates I'm seeing a more quantifiable mathematical substance. For our own reality is set within a certain set of dynamic, dynamo, flowing configurations of form in formation. We play with these words because all of this is tuning into different pings on the map, so to speak. Certain letters can figure in with certain harmonic agulations, conjunctions, conjunct and adjacent with, and I'm seeing, when I see adjacent, I'm seeing ACDC, and I'm seeing a junction. It connects a junction to these nodes and nodal, and I'm seeing natal. Oh boy, I'm seeing natal as in a natal place on your astrological chart. I'm seeing the nadis in the body, NADIS, and I'm seeing natal, like back in the womb of creation. We then tune into not only the womb of creation, when tuned into this, we create from that womb. In addition to that, that is the space, the point, the access point that we are pointing to. And as we move towards this sound, we move out into a bigger geometric, I keep saying geometric configuration, but what I'm seeing is literally more planets, more numbers, Earth being bigger, more land, a bigger light body, more lights lighting up, discoveries of planets, discoveries of mathematics, of shapes, literally, and I'm going back to the platonic solids, like there's more. And again and again and again, we go through this. We go through this channel, this canal, this birthing venture, this adventure that allows us to move in line with, adjacent to, our own signature. And I'm being guided to go back and play with what that is, the etymology of the word. But I am going into signature, because it's also a play on words. I'm hearing mature and like a tenor, chore, and you are. So it's not just the etymology. For me, it's actually playing with the codex of keys of our letters in our alphabet, our alpha information holding system. For that which we are holding on to is all held within our own womb of creation. And I'm seeing the throat. I'm seeing a woman, but I'm also seeing the throat as being part of this womb. And I'm being shown through here, a woman singing, and I'm also being shown a man singing, and I'm being shown a child singing, and I'm just seeing alphabet letters, and also I'm seeing shapes, geometries, and is it signify? I keep hearing signify coming out. And as these codes are then accessed through the inner nodes, it's not just the throat, it's all of it, but we're expressing it. We then begin to bring that into our reality. So what I'm seeing is we're branching out and reaching up, and that is responding to us. So our galactic signature then increases its scale. So the musical scale then adds a note, adds a node, adds a different reflection point, therefore remembering itself. We then move into a different zone, if you will, of creation and information flow and influx. This allows us to perceive the influctuations in a different way and exchange this information as a particular particle exchange that allows us to break through the old barriers of communication. This symbology, etymology, and wordplay allows us to hear the symbols and begin to recognize a pattern that was perhaps unrecognizable before. For in this recognition, I'm seeing ignition, a light, recognition. It's cognizing this internal chamber, and I'm hearing the King's chamber, but this also has to do with we're hearing something different. And it's because when we raise our frequency, when we rise up level, when we up level, we then access different points of reference, different nodal networks that are then in conjunction with or adjacent to or right along with, I'm hearing low rider. And it's like flow rider and lo-fi and radio. I always sing lights are low, moving in stereo. We start to then hear the deeper resonance and sound of variabilities that add or increase our chapter, play on words, in our book. This adds to the definitions that we already have in existence for therefore, it adds to our existence, for our chapter has yet to be written as it is written and has already begun. This has to do with time. Therefore, our recognition in all things increases. Our technological display of power adds up to a higher summation. Play on words. We begin to access a different code of honor. So this is a play on words too. HONOR. And I'm seeing home. I'm seeing this as we act from a higher vibration. Therefore, we become different. Therefore, we hear things differently because we're hearing from a deeper resonance. We don't just hear what is on the outside. We hear the sound behind the sound behind the sound. This then activates a deeper potential and it excavates, I'm seeing an archaeological dig. So a lot of the things on Earth haven't even been excavated yet because we weren't necessarily seeing them. And all of a sudden, these little alphabets, pieces of information are starting to fall in, like raining particle acceleration, particles of excitation, particles coming from the sun, particles coming up from the earth, our own light bodies exchanging with each other, our own DNA subsets. This is a play on words. I could just say this entire video is a play on words. So the subsets are a bubble within a bubble within a bubble. And what has been divided now becomes more divisible, more than meets the eye. So I'm going to play with that just for a moment. When you divide something into a bigger number and you just get more of, like, it's split, 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 there's even more. But what I'm being shown is there's actually a bigger number to divide into. But it brings us back into indivisibility. Not invisibility. It makes visible what is invisible. It makes it inner to outer, and it makes us indivisible. So we are no longer divided in the same way that we have been before, for we are not the same that we have been before. And yet we are what we were before, and then more. Whew. Again, reference to a higher score. So I'm going to end on that note, you guys. Literally, note, in love and light. I hope you had fun with this. Namaste.